Riley Reiff is sticking with the Minnesota Vikings. I made an episode recently talking about players that have to be cut from the Minnesota Vikings. Now, of course, I said I did not think Riley Reiff was going to get cut simply because he's just a player that I didn't see them cutting. He thought that they were going to cut him. We're going to get over this real quick. So Riley Reiff is sticking with the Minnesota Vikings. As of right now, he could still get cut. Please get cut. We can fill in. We don't need Riley Reiff. Of course, he is a left tackle that is going to be a question mark. I mean, that's the left tackle is not a position you want to have a question mark at. Not at all. So that's why I did not think that they were going to be cutting Riley Reiff. But of course, Rashad Hill came in and looked better than Riley Reiff last year. Rashad Hill is our backup left tackle and right tackle, which is kind of a red flag there because Brian O'Neill, you have to expect that he's going to go out with the injury again, which is why you would want Rashad Hill to be able to fill in for him, which he can, but Rashad Hill can also fill in for Riley Reiff if they cut Riley Reiff. Both that would look good, but we don't want to rely on Rashad Hill. We have Ezra Cleveland, who they took in the second round. Ezra Cleveland, of course, is a rookie, so you can't expect him to be like amazing out of college. Especially offensive linemen, you can never expect them to be that great out of college. But he's still an overpaid player. Riley Reiff signed a 5-year contract in 2017 worth $58.75 million with the Minnesota Vikings. This is following his 5 years from the Detroit Lions, where he was drafted in the first round. Terrible draft pick, and is still an overpaid player. He's entering his 4th season now with the Minnesota Vikings and is getting $12 million a year. Previously was getting $17.78 million. So it's a great team-friendly deal, but when you look at it, we don't need to pay him this much. He is still an overpaid player. Vikings have no cap space. At least we're not negative in cap space. 1 year ago today, we were negative 20 in cap space. That's crazy. At least we're not that bad in cap space, but still, if you put him on a better deal or you cut him, you don't have to put him on a better deal, just cut him. We can fill in for him. We can rely on Ezra Cleveland, well, try to. And then, of course, if he doesn't work, we have Rashad Hill. We saw Rashad Hill last year look better than Riley Reiff. Amazing player and has well deserved that starting role. You put him on this deal? No, not a deal. You cut him. You already put him on a deal because you took Yannick Ngakoue. Because the Vikings traded for Yannick Ngakoue, which I just went over this, and that was a great trade for the Vikings and team-friendly deal by Ngakoue as well. Putting him on this deal frees up some cap space, and it's still overpaid. Riley Reiff is not worth $12 million a year at all. Of course, he's a left tackle. You don't want there to be a hole there, of course, because that's covering Kirk Cousins' blind spot, one of the most important positions in the NFL. But when you look at it, if you use Rashad Hill in his place, you cut Riley Reiff, and you sign a new left guard covering for Pat Elflein's job. How can you say no to that? That is a great decision. I don't know why they just put him on a deal and didn't cut him. It doesn't make sense. Maybe they don't like how Ezra Cleveland looks in practice. Of course, I am not there. I'm just here talking from an outside perspective. I'm not there looking at how Ezra Cleveland plays against these defensive ends. But if he looks any whit decent, I can guarantee he's going to look better than Riley Reiff. And you're not going to have to pay him $12 million a year. You're not. Which is why I do think that the Vikings should cut Riley Reiff and get a new left guard. I don't know if there's any guards currently available in the free agent market, but you can trade for a guard from some garbage team. They'll give them away basically for free. You don't want this offensive line to be a question mark at all for the Minnesota Vikings this season. You want Kirk Cousins to have time inside the pocket. And of course, he's a great passer, but you have to buy him more time inside the pocket, which is why having Rashad Hill starting or Ezra Cleveland starting over Riley Reiff and getting a new left guard to start over Pat Elflein, that would be a great move by the Vikings. And then we can hope that Garrett Bradbury looks better and Brian Neal can stay healthy, and the Vikings' offensive line will be set. We will be set. We have so much depth at the offensive line, we just don't have star players. Outside of Brian O'Neill, everyone else does not look that great. Garrett Bradbury, you have to give him some more years. Like I said, you can't get mad at a offensive lineman for looking bad in his first season, because offensive linemen go from in college where they're going against just average players and they go against these star players in defense. So if you see Garrett Bradbury getting killed by Kenny Clark against the Packers, don't get mad. Kenny Clark is by far better than Garrett Bradbury, but Garrett Bradbury has time to develop. He's a young player, very athletic, and he's time to develop. And in the future, hopefully he will be looking like a great center that we can hold on to. So he was happy about this. He said that he thought he was going to get cut, just like I figured they should cut him, but also I did not think that they were going to cut him. So he was happy when they offered him the deal. He thought he was going to get cut, which they should. They can still cut him. They'll get him off that $12 million a year contract. even maybe first half of the season, maybe week 5, you can cut him if Ezra Cleveland is looking good. But yeah, Riley Reiff for 2 more years. We don't need Riley Reiff for 2 more years. In fact, we don't need Riley Reiff for 2 more days. So you should get rid of him and a few more players, and then probably trade for a left guard or grab one in free agent market. I don't know how the free agent market is looking for left guards, but I don't want to see Pat Elflein starting another game in the NFL. Pat Elflein looked terrible last season, has let so many players by, and he's part of the reason Kirk Cousins was pressured on just about every play. So getting rid of Riley Reiff and getting rid of Pat Elflein will bring that core to our left side of the offensive line, hoping Ezra Cleveland looks good and that we can trade for a left guard. If that happens, Vikings offense is set. Vikings offense is looking great. We have to see how our number 2 left wide receiver does look, though. If that's Justin Jefferson, if that's Tajay Sharp, if that's BC, if they look good, our offense is set by far. Tight end group, amazing. Adam Thielen is going nowhere. He's still great. Running back group, one of the best in the NFL. CJ Ham, greatest fullback. This offense is looking good. We just need to fix that left side of the offensive line. And if Riley Reiff can stay healthy, not Riley Reiff, if Brian O'Neill can stay healthy, or even if he gets injured, you can have Rashad Hill fill in for him if Ezra Cleveland can start. And that's exactly what you want with the Vikings. Free up that cap space, trade for a player. We have a lot of draft capital. Vikings have a ton of picks that they can use. And getting a left guard would be a big need for the Vikings. And having Ezra Cleveland work would be another need for the Vikings. Thank you for tuning into this segment of Morning Kickoff.